Trading in today's market can be frustrating, but in this video, I'm going to show you the last 30 days and the kind of return that I've been getting on swing trading. I'm going to show you guys the returns and I'm going to talk through some of the trades. Now, the reason why I'm doing this is not just to show off, although, yeah, they are pretty good, but I'm hoping maybe you can learn from some of these trades. What I'm finding is that patience in this market has been really paying off.
I'm going to briefly walk you through each trade. If you don't want to watch all that detail, then you can go to the description and skip through using the chapters.
DDD is one I trade quite often, but I seen that we were in this falling wedge here, so I started scaling in right around here. My first scale is always the smallest, then I add as we dip, and then when we got to this double bottom, that was when I saw some support, added the biggest position size, and then held it up until about here. I could have held for longer, but I was just worried about some pullback here, so we just took the profit that we had, and that was it. Neo, this one I play quite a bit. This was more of an oversold bounce entry based on oversold RSI levels, so I think there was a couple of adds to this one, and on the 23rd, and then we held this until about the 25th here. Saw some resistance up here, so we didn't get a huge profit, but we took the profit and ran. MVIS, now you can see this is a clear descending wedge. We started to break out of that right around here, and this is when I alerted this swing. We ran pretty hard, pretty fast, so that's why I alerted to exit. When something like that happens, I like to take profit. I don't care if I don't get all the move, but I want to get a good move. TKAT, now when this one runs, it runs hard and it pulls back hard. So when I gave the alert for this one, I said that it was high risk. I basically entered after it had been running for a little bit. Didn't hold it for very long at all, like probably only a couple of hours, and then exited with profits. SHIP, gave the alert to enter this one at around 101 as I saw this starting to run, and just look at this chart, it's just beautiful. Held this for a little bit long because I actually missed my exit right here, so I held it until we actually had the second run up here and exited. I didn't play it for this third run, unfortunately, but I know that some others are. Root, now this one gets shorted a lot, so whenever I see that it's been shorted really heavily and the RSI levels are just so beat up is when I will start to scale into this one. So started to scale in, I believe, right around here. And you have to be patient with this one. Sometimes it'll look like it's going to run and then it'll pull back hard. So I was pretty patient with this one, held this one for 2 weeks. And then after the big run right here is when I alerted to close this position, because as you can see, we pulled back really hard after that. So you can see we were falling in this wedge pattern for a long time. Right around here, the support level 1018 was when we entered this one for this breakout right about here, and then alerted exit, of course, because it was a big move. And like I said, when you get a big move like that, you got to get out before it pulls back.
SPCE. Now, this is an example of a trade that doesn't play out immediately as planned. We were in this EQ and I was watching us about to break out of this EQ, which is when I scaled into this, but it was actually a fake out. We tested the resistance at the top and then came back down. But because we stayed in this EQ, I didn't exit this. So I was holding it a little bit in the red for a couple days, I believe. And then we, of course, went back, retested the top of the EQ, broke out, but then it ended up being a fake out. So I alerted an exit up here. We took our profit, which was pretty good.
QS, we started to break out of this EQ around this time, so I alerted entry into this, but we exited because we were just starting to pull back. And EH, very similar, except it was a falling wedge. Alerted entry here, held it till up about around here, and then alerted exit. Another trade in Neo, after this falling channel here, alerted this entry into this ticker, held this till up about around here, and then just took profit. FAMI, this was a great trade. I remember alerting this one here, held it. It felt like forever, but then we had a huge breakout, and I'm really glad that I held on until then. So this was actually a really good swing. FCEL, okay, now not such a great trade. We were getting ready to break out of this EQ. We actually broke out of the EQ a little bit, but it was a fake out. I started scaling in once we broke out, but then we didn't have any continuation and we started dipping back down. So I exited this one with a loss. And I don't want to call this a revenge trade because it always makes me laugh when people say that, but I actually was just keeping a real close eye on FCEL because I took a loss there. So I was watching it and I just saw that we were going to break out. So alerted entry into this one at 564. And then the very next day, which we had earnings there, and I was a little bit messed up here. I actually thought the earnings was before this. So anyway, that was a lucky break. 27% profit on this hold, and I sold this like as soon as possible. LEXX alerted off of this falling wedge here back in August at 559. Held this one for what seems like forever. I missed a little sell area around here, so I held it even longer. Then I sold it just a couple days ago because the market was starting to pull back and I was in pretty decent profit here. So that's where I took the profit, and you can see we're having a pretty good day now. So you can see that the market always presents opportunities and patience is often rewarded. It's easy to be a successful swing trader. All you need to know is how to time your entries and your exits. I'm putting together a series of courses that are going to teach you how to chart. Now, if you're a beginner and you're interested in learning how to chart, put some comments below and let me know the things that you want to learn about, and then maybe I can focus my videos on that.
If you want to see an up-to-date record of the trades that I'm currently in, a link to my trade tracker is in the description below.